Hello, everybody. Janelle here. Let me just make sure that I'm live in the right spot. I feel like that's my tagline. Let's see, real quick. 1 second. And I feel like it's my tagline that I always say when I go live is, let me just make sure that hey, Heather. Okay, awesome. I am in the right spot. Perfect. Woohoo. Super excited. Heather asked me to pop on here. I'm just going to give it a second to see if anybody hops on. If not, I'm just going to dive in because I know when I watch replays, I hate waiting around. But Heather asked me to pop on here and chat with you guys a little bit today regarding recruiting, as I did recruit a ton last month. And I will say that it wasn't all intentional. Like, some of them were coming to me. So, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. So let me take a sip of my water and then I will hop on. Okay. So, all right, perfect. Yay, super excited. So anyway, my name is Janel Frick. I have been with Jamberry for a long time, since I'm going on 6 years. So it'll be 6 years in September. So I have been through the ups, through the downs, through the roundabouts, you name it, I've been there. But I'm super excited to chat with you guys a little bit about recruiting. So I'm just gonna give you oh, good, you're inviting people. You are more than welcome. I'm honored to pop on here and chat with you guys. It's kind of like a last minute thing, so I just have a couple of little notes that I jotted down that I really just want to just touch on real quick. And before we get started, I will post this file or upload it in here to your group, but this is the most important list of mine. And it's got staple after staple after staple. And I'm going to show you it. It's called my recruit list. So this is my recruit list, okay? And if you can see, all those staples? Because I am I'm always adding to my recruit list. I'm serious. Like, this is a recruit list I have had, kind of like a list of 100 in a way, for the past 5 years. Maybe 4. I don't think I started it right away, but this is going to be key. Now, you see these green ones? Oops, I'm backwards. There we go. Those are people that ended up joining, okay? And they do say about 1 in every 10 normally would join. So if you kind of look at my list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's an average. It really is an average of 1 in every 10. Got some more. Okay, but this is what is going to set you up for success with building your team. It has with me, it has with girls on my team as well. But what you want to do is you want to start with those people who have had a sneak peek in the past, or those of you, your hosts are number 1. I'll get to that here in a second. But those who have maybe contacted you or asked you about the business at all. You can start fresh. You can start going back in your head and think, okay, who had sneak peeks on our team page, or who attended an opportunity event in the past, and you can start your list like that, or you can start just fresh and move on from here on out and start working on this list. Okay, and then you can jot down notes. When did you talk to them last? Did they attend an opportunity event? Did they attend a sneak peek? Things like that. Now, the reason why I have this list, and the reason why it's like really falling apart on me, is because I go through my list at least once a month. My list has grown, so it kind of takes me a little bit longer to go through it. But let me tell you how and why you want to go through your list every month. It's good to do it too if you can, especially if you have a shorter list to start out with. But me personally, I can only do my list pretty much once a month, and it takes me a good power hour or 2. And what you're going to do with your list is you're going to go to each one of these people's Facebook profile page. Hey, Megan. And you're going to see what the last thing they posted was about. Okay. Whether it's a picture, is it a status? Did they check in somewhere? Don't comment or like that post. Yeah, you heard me right. Hey, Kitty, don't comment or like the post. You are going to shoot them a personal message, and you're going to say, hey, Janelle, I just saw your kids had a soccer tournament this past weekend. How did they do? You want to end it in a question, and you want nothing to do with Jamberry, okay? And like I said, you want to do this at least twice a month, or if you, like I said, if you have a larger list, at least once a month. But you want to do this because you are building that relationship with them. And let me tell you, when someone sends me a message out of the blue and asks either one, how are you, or something that has nothing to do with my business or anything like that, I say, oh my gosh, they like took time to message me. They didn't just comment or like my status. Like that's pretty cool. Or when somebody, instead of posting on my wall, it says happy birthday, they send me a message that says happy birthday instead. Just the simple little things like that. But you want to do this, and you want to do this frequently, because when we do have an incentive, like we did last month, when I messaged and I went through my entire list, my recruit list, and I was messaging these people, the last message they saw from me was not about joining. The last 2 messages they saw from me was not about joining. The last 3 messages they saw from me were not about joining. The third one, maybe, depending, because we started to pick your passions, things like that. But you don't want that last message when you are going to contact them about joining to be about your business. Does that make sense? I hope that kind of makes sense. But like I said, you want to do this during your power hour, and you want to do it at least twice a month, because having that personal connection with people is going to make a huge difference in the long run. It made a huge difference when I went on here and at the first of the month in April and started to reach out to people for this incentive on joining. I personally recruited 28 last month, and I am not gonna lie, I stopped reaching out to people when I hit about maybe 11 or 12, maybe 13, because I was overwhelmed. I was so overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have 10 to 12 new team members of my own to onboard. How the heck am I going to do this? And then I was leaving for Puerto Vallarta. So how am I going to onboard people? I can't. I needed to stop. Yeah, I stopped at 12, 13, between 11 and 13 and whatever. And I ended with 28 because let me tell you, people were coming to me. People were seeing, and they knew that I was their Jamberry lady. I was the jam girl. I actually had quite a few people reach out to me for my business page. And if you don't have a business page, set up a business page. I do most of my work in my VIP groups, but I also have a business page, and I post there, my goodness, consistently. I'm consistently posting in there. Okay. So that is my big number 1 tip, is your recruit list. Okay. And the first thing though, you really, hey Shannon, hey Amanda, you cannot prejudge. And I know it is usually easier said than done. But there are times where you don't know what that person's going through. You might know that they don't have money, or you know that they are so busy, but those busy people are the best people to have join your team, because they know how to work their business, and they know how to, they have awesome time management because they are always so busy. But prejudging, please don't do it. It is so hard to not, but that's like my biggest thing, is don't prejudge. Don't prejudge anybody. I'm just gonna pop over to home parties, because getting in front of people is really where it's at. So you need to be booking those home parties. And your hosts, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I want to just kind of get as much in as soon as I can, because I don't like doing lives for a long time, because no one watches the replay if they're like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You want to keep it quick, right? But you want to, at home parties, you want to listen. You want to listen to the guests talking. You want to see who has those 3 kids in sports. You want to listen to that person who's like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. I so needed this night out. I need to do this more often. You need to pick up on those things. And then you need to make sure you take note of that and then follow up with them and say, hey, I noticed that you said that you have, 3 kids in sports and that you can't purchase anything because of, would this be something you might be interested in? So you need to think and listen to your surroundings at parties. It's a little bit harder with online parties, but this is more for in-home parties. And the number one thing I do is I recruit my hosts. And I know some people don't like to do that because you're thinking, Janelle, you're telling me to recruit my host. That like, I only have 2 parties this month. Why am I going to want them to join my team? Then I don't have any parties. Go get yourself another party. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. Go get yourself another party, because it's more important for you to start building your team than it is about that QV that you're hoping to get from that party. Okay? But if you onboard her, you're going to set her up for success, and now she's got a party. Does that make sense? So the number one thing is I always, always, always ask my hostesses before their party starts. And I say just something quick and simple. I said, hey, you are doing awesome at this, being a hostess right now. We have this kit, and this kit, where you can just say we have this $25 Pick Your Passion starter kit where you can technically, basically earn the commission on this party if you were thinking this might be something you'd like to do. And I personally do my new team members' first online parties for them. So I tell her, I would even still do the party for you. We can make this your launch party. You can not only collect the hostess rewards, but you're going to collect the commission for it. And it's only $25 to join. Yeah, pretty simple, right? Yes, it is a long-term gain. Long-term gain. I don't think I said that right at first. So asking your hosts, before you start that party, you need to be asking them. And then I don't care if you have no more parties in the books for the rest of the month, because you can go out and find yourself another party. Okay? It's easier to find yourself another party than it is to find yourself a new team member. Right? Right. Okay. Let me just check real quick. Oh, and another thing too is that I really wanted to. This is what helps me a lot. Is if one of my hosts say no to joining before her party, I book a minimum of 2 parties from every party that I do. So I know that she's going to have bookings. I try not to close a party out with no bookings. I'm always trying to get bookings from the parties. So let's say Heather says no to joining, but Jackie and Amy say yes to doing a party. Well, when Jackie and Amy's parties come up, I am going to say, hey, Heather, Jackie's party's coming up. Are you sure you didn't want to just jump in? Because you are so awesome at this, and she's your friend, and just kind of ask again. Okay, don't be afraid of the no, and show her what she can benefit from. Show her how it can help her. Don't think about it and bring it up as for you. You always want to see what's in it for them, okay? And I always follow up with any past hostesses who have not joined when I have a party that's coming up, and I always mark down who, like for instance, I'm a paper person, so every party I have, I write a little index card, and then in the corner, I write who they booked off of. So when their party comes up, I'm like, okay, so it's Stephanie's party, and she booked off of Cynthia. So, hey, Cynthia, Stephanie's party's coming up, and I just wanted to double check with you and see if you were sure, and whatever, however you want to word it, your past hosts and how you can talk to them. So that's just something that I like to do, and that really I've gotten quite a few that way. Because they said no the first time around, doesn't mean that they're a no forever, because they will eventually, if they haven't told you, no, I am never interested in this, they're still a maybe. Keep them on your list, okay? Let me see real quick. Another thing is people are watching you. Don't go overboard with posting on your personal page. Just keep it very limited. But when you do post on your personal page, make sure that it is not that spammy type. Make sure you're doing those because of Jamberry posts, because people are watching you. I don't care if it's I am taking my son out for ice cream tonight because of Jamberry. I don't care if it is, oh my gosh, we just put a down payment on a car because of Jamberry. I just paid off my house because of Jamberry. Whatever it is, little or big, you post about it. You post about because of Jamberry every time you get paid. Every time you get paid and you are using a little bit of that, or maybe you got together with some girlfriends, or you did a home party and you just became friends with 10 new people because of Jamberry, okay? People are watching. They may not like, they may not comment, but they're watching. I've had some of these ladies last month that joined my team, for instance, did not comment or like anything from my trip to Puerto Vallarta, but they were like, I just saw you got back. You earned this trip with Jamberry? And I was like, yep, sure did. And they're like, tell me more. I'm like, well, it's free to join this month. They're like, what? Sign me up. Okay. Their day weren't all that easy, but, and then some of them were saying, you know, oh my gosh, you guys moved down to Florida. How's Florida? So you retired, your husband's retired now and you're working Jamberry? Yep, pretty much. And they see these things and they are taking note, okay? Sorry, I get distracted with comments, so I try not to look at comments until the end. But you really want to keep those because of Jamberry posts up. And you can do them simple. You don't have to be spammy about it or obnoxious about it. It is your life. It's how Jamberry is blessing you and your family, okay? Or even if you're blessing somebody else's life, if you're doing, you know, blessing bags or something like that, because of Jamberry, I am able to give back to X, Y, and Z, things like that, okay? One last thing that I want to really quickly talk about, because we're going about the 20-minute mark, and that's where I like to keep my lives, is customers. Customers are potential recruits for you. Sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I don't want to recruit my customer because she buys from me all the time. Well, you know what? Those people that buy from you all the time are going to be buying from themselves all the time. Think active legs. Think, okay, well, if she does join and now she's purchasing for herself and she's getting this commission back, they are 50 to 70% chance that they're going to put their foot in the door and they're going to try it and they're going to give it a try. Get them in, let them see how it is, and let them try it and see how it goes, because you never know. We can't prejudge, but our customers, and if you want to get even like more in depth, you can go into your customer tab in your workstation, pull up your customers, and see how much they spent with you lifetime. You can see how much they spent with you lifetime. You can see how much they've spent total lifetime. So with you as a consultant and total, let's say they rolled up to you, or they had another consultant, or now they purchased with you. So you can see how much they've spent personally with you, and you can see how much they spent as a whole. Screenshot that, or just take note of the number and say, look, Heather, you have spent $325 so far with Jamberry, and you spent $249 of that with me. I am making the money on that. Wouldn't you want to make the money on your own sales? Yeah, it's pretty simple. You just have to think outside the box sometimes and try new things, okay? Let's see, I'm gonna check real quick. I am at my 20-minute mark, and I did great. I kind of kept it to the 20 minutes that I wanted to. And I could, okay, I just wanted to double check my notes before I stopped. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm so excited that I was able to pop on here real quick. I hope you guys were able to take a little nugget away from that. I will, as soon as I hop off here, I will upload the recruit list. I want you to print out 2. I know you're like, why? I only need 1 to start with. No, I want you to print out 2 because you want to staple. You want to have that first staple going for you. And I know it sounds so corny, but every time I add another staple, I actually had to take some out and then redo them. But you're going to start your recruit list, and you are going to grow your recruit list. You're going to start having highlights on your recruit list. You're going to have some that will be crossed off, because I mean, I have some of those, like that one girl who blocked me and deleted me because she joined into somebody else. Okay, so what? But it's going to really help you out. And I'm a visual person. I want to see their names. I want to see what they did. You can do spreadsheets if you want. But I am a paper person. So if you wanted to keep this as a form online and do it on your computer, you can do that too. But I suggest printing it out, and this thing sits on my desk. It doesn't get put away. It's always out in front of me. And I know that I need to be working on that all the time. So you guys are more than welcome. Let me just check real quick and see if there's any questions that I might have missed, because I tend to not look at the comments when I'm talking because I'll get sidetracked. All right, I'm not seeing anything. So, whoops. I clicked on something. There we go. All right, I hope you guys have a fantastic afternoon. Go print out your sheets and go start building your teams. You guys are fabulous, and you are going to do an amazing job. Thanks, Heather, for having me, and I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.